Today we're going to talk about what you can do as a client, as a small business, to make sure that your PPC buyer, your PPC agency is performing as well as possible, scaling your revenue, driving your ROAS, getting that return on investments. Are you giving them the tools and the information they need to drive up and scale your business? Let's talk about that. Let's just dive in. The first thing I want to talk about is make sure you understand when you're intaking or you're onboarding a PPC buyer, make sure that you have a customer profile in mind. Make sure you have the data there to back it up, right? What does your organic say in terms of your customer profile? Have you had organic purchases? What's your current email campaigns look like? What learnings can you extrapolate there? Because the more information you can give them in terms of gender skew, demo skew, DMAs. You see what I'm saying? You're already giving them information to go on where they can experiment and see what PPC yields, right? So it's good to be almost overly informed by even all the platforms in terms of the organic or the email, and making sure that they can begin the experiments right away. They have data they can already just start jumping into. The next is CRM. CRM has to be one of the most overlooked aspects of PPC buying. Really, people just sit on this, and I think all small business owners, all clients really need to be more forthcoming with this and make sure their clients or their PPC agencies are using this data, right? And that includes emails. That includes also the relevant purchase data associated with the emails, right? Are you able to correlate the heavy spenders, medium spenders, and low spenders? That would be awesome, right? You just basically take all that information, you plug it into the Google platform, right? And then on top of that, you can even do that with Meta as well. So really making sure you're forthcoming. Check that box off. If your agency is not doing that, check with them. Make sure they're doing that. It's not enough to do interest, folks. Best practice now is more lookalikes, broader. Okay, you can, but really it's really using your lookalikes. You have to give that nudge. Broad audiences kind of only work if there's awareness for your product already. Right. That's why if you ever see the case studies, oh yeah, we should use broad. Would you do that for a small business? Maybe a small local business, but really, if you're national, come on, man, you got to give that nudge, and that's where the lookalikes, plugging that data in and having it do that seed audience and extrapolate out the audience to a 2.4 million or et cetera kind of base. So to have it, give it that nudge. The next is, where are you at in your marketing lifecycle, right? Do you even have an ad account? And I really mean that. Are you getting organic sales? That's a lot different than if you have no sales at all. You don't have an account. You don't have anything. We're starting from zero, right? Do you have a warm account where you're already getting purchases? Those 2-3 examples are months apart from each other, right? So if you don't have anything, right, that means we have to build out the ad account. That means we have to make sure all the pixels are firing correctly. That means we have to make sure that the initiate checkouts, add to carts, payment method, all those are firing correctly. The user path is identified and optimized, and then then we can optimize the purchases, right? But it all starts with a website traffic campaign and make sure those are populating correctly. Now, if you already have a warm account, you already have all that done. You're already optimizing. You want a buyer to take you from the launch pad to the moon, right? So you're looking to scale, go up. So from there, if you already have a campaign that's already rocking, it's really somebody like me that goes in and is like, yeah, okay, we need all this types of different creative. We need to pull all these levers. We need to examine these types of audiences. We need to experiment on these other platforms. All sorts of stuff has to happen. But like I said, these two are months apart. So it depends where you are at in your marketing life cycle. If you have nothing done, guess what we're going to do the first couple of weeks? We have to build your ad account. We got to put in the pixels. We're going to have to, set up all the conversions, all sorts of fun stuff, right? We may even have to do email campaigns to start with, right? So it all, we can be at various areas, but either way, if you're at the first journey that I talk about where you don't have anything, right, it's going to be a bit till we get to purchases. However, if you already have an ad account that's already warm, guess what? You're already rocking. We just have to launch. We just have to just really do some cool stuff. Another thing that to be honest helps is, do you have organics up? Do you have an email drip campaign that captures cart abandonment? Does your email campaign turn cold audiences? Do you have a strategy to turn them warm? That all affects PPC, folks. That really does. You can talk about how siloed it is and it's a different area, but at the end of the day, all these pillars are working together to make sure they facilitate a higher conversion value. And you want to maximize that conversion value to get it as high as possible for a compelling ROAS. And that's where it all works together. Again, it's where you're at in that life cycle journey. Make sure you identify where you're at and be forthcoming that with your agency, saying, hey, I just don't know where I'm at, and then we can develop a roadmap. That's what I've done. I'm like, that's fine. It's cool. Then let's develop that roadmap, because I have email drip campaign capability, right? I have those connections. I'm able to set up that SMM, social media marketing, that you need to make sure those organics are in place, right? So it's, it's again, identifying where you're at. The third issue or place where you should understand where you're at is making sure that you're making data-driven decisions, right? What do I mean by that? Excel is an awesome piece of tech. It shaped the world, right? But at the same time, folks, in this day and age, we're in the mid 2020s, and if you're using Excel for reporting, that was used when I first started in media. And to be honest, that was a long time ago. You really need storytelling in your reporting. You need to identify where those peaks and those valleys exist in your purchase funnel, and identify the weaknesses and the strengths and the areas of improvement to get them up. The only way you can do that is through your reporting, making sure it tells the right story, where in each phase of the smart funnel, whether it be awareness when people enter, whether it's mid funnel where people engage and they go to your site and you build that frequency, or it's a bottom funnel where they purchase. What is your corresponding audience, and how is each creative working accordingly? There's even a fourth part of the funnel that's beginning to surface called the pre-awareness funnel, right? That's even before the awareness. It's called pre-awareness. It's that big, folks. And, is your PPC agency equipping you with the knowledge and the feedback loop to make sure that you're able to make the right decisions along with their input to decide, we need additional creative. We need to test landing page iterations versus unbounce. We need to, there seems to be a drop off on the add to cart versus initiate checkout, whatever. But that's where you need thorough, optimized reporting. We have an integration with Power My Analytics where we actually do contract work for Fortune 500 companies. We do it for other agencies, and we do it for you, and we do it for free as added value as a retainer with us. So what does that mean? That means that you, by partnering with us and securing our services as PPC buyers, you get roughly multiple reports by platform, depending on how many platforms you have, even organic, to be honest. We actually have a reporting template for that. And each template is roughly 5 to 10 pages, right? So the storytelling's all there. Now, of course, everybody's going to say, do I need to go through 10 pages of reporting? Absolutely not, right? But heaven forbid there's an issue on all of a sudden your conversions drop. I hope that little piece of Excel reporting you have can tell where the drop off is. It can't, folks. It can't. I've worked with Excel reporting. The only way you can do it is through identifying where the peaks and the valleys are, and that storytelling, right? That's how you do it. And like I said, we have that capability. That's why we've had tremendous success. I challenge you, please look on my YRV Dynamics LinkedIn. All the screenshots are there on our performance. Please, I challenge anybody, please check them out. So that's where I end on data-driven decision making. The next is your customer experience. So where are you at in terms of your customer experience? Do you give delivery in 30 days, 14 days? Is it free delivery? Do you have reviews up? Do you have your organic Google shopping listings up, right? So the way you do that is through your product feed and integrate that with your Google Merchant Center. And that there's actually an option that says free listings. That easy, folks. Is your PPC buyer doing that? I hope they are. So what I want to say is it doesn't matter. It matters that you have it set up, but you need to make sure that those, what your return options are, what your, are promos being used within your those particular elements, are reviews set up, right? Because it's not enough just to have, the same products by different companies, right? The person with the reviews is going to win. The person that has that real estate where it says, wow, they have 4.5, 4.9 stars out of 5, and they have some good ratings, and that's the person that's gonna choose, right? It's just human nature. You go where the credibility is, right? And with that, you got to make sure that it's not enough to have those Google Shopping campaign listings, folks. You need to make sure that the feed, either where you judge me or you use Google reviews, and those are plugged into the Merchant Center to make sure that data is being fed back into the Google listings, right? To the shopping campaigns, whether it be organic or whether it be paid. You got to make sure that's there, folks. I just talked about the promos, quality scores. Make sure your quality scores are high. Make sure you're asking your buyer if, how are my landing page experiences looking on the Google Ads setup, right? Is it low score? Is it high? Where are we at? Make sure you identify that. And if there's any keywords that you need to include via the page or vice versa into the campaign, let's talk about it, right? Because you want those scores to go higher the score, also the cheaper it is, right? Higher the click-through rate. And then lastly, I'll talk about high quality content. We already talked about the site, but with PMAX, if you do not include video, guess what? It does it for you. You have to make sure you include YouTube. It has to be a YouTube link that you include in there. Include multiple. But if you don't have a video, guess what PMAX is going to do? It's going to take your display ads, and it'll make a song. It'll put a song next to it and just create a video there for you. I think we've all seen those videos with it has the moving blocks, and it has the lettering. It has like a weird chime in the background or whatever, some kind of muzak kind of feel to it. That's a PMAX created video, right? You don't want that. You actually want good content. Make sure you invest in some video, some quality video. Same thing with display. Don't use the stock library. Use actual display images, product images, people using your product, etc. Or if it's relevant, creative that your ad agency created, or if, we actually provide that too. So more than happy to, and we provide video as well. So we do everything soup to nuts on my side. So so that's really it, folks. I'm just wanted to discuss some things on how small businesses or clients can help guide their PPC agency, ask the right questions, make sure they're getting the most out of their agency or PPC contractor. You can find me on Medium. I'll include the link below. There is an article I made just exactly on this particular video. I'm trying to make sure they're one-to-one. So whenever we do certain videos, we actually have a complement Medium article. We also have, of course, this YouTube channel. Please check out any of my videos. And then our site, yrvdynamics.com, where you can check us out, look at my, look at our amazing work that we've done on our other clients in terms of creative, or even we have the case study links there as well that link back to the Medium. So that's really it. Thank you, folks, and I look forward to talking to all of you. Thank you.